Hey class, Absolute 5 here, and today we're going to talk about writing a percent as a fraction. So, this is still a continuation of those three parts. This is still part 2. Let me just put up top here. This is part 2 to writing the percent, decimals, or fraction. Specifically, here we're going to talk about, told you. We'll just say percent to fraction. Much easier to say it this way. So percent to fraction, what do I have to say? You need to replace, again, the percent symbol, replace the percent symbol with its fraction equivalent. Which is 1 over 100. Then multiply. Now again, the key thing to remember is don't forget to simplify the fraction if possible. Okay? So remember, we have to rewrite our three tools that we use to convert each one. So remember, 1% is still the same as 0.01. Or in this case, you're just going to be using, we'll be talking about more about the 1 over 100% mark. Okay? So let's take our same example from before. Let's say I have 43% as my number I would like to turn into a fraction. Again, I turned this percent symbol to 1 over 100, so I have 43 times, or, sorry, let's put this as a, whoopsie, times 1 over 100. Remember, to turn any whole number into a fraction, you just put this a 1 under the whole number. Or again, if you're good at this, you just simply multiply straight through. So 43 times 1 is just 43 over 100. Now I ask myself, can I reduce? The answer is no. I cannot reduce 43 over 100. It's not happening. What about 25%? So same idea. You change this to 1 over 100. 25 times 1 over 100. I get 25 over 100. Now, am I finished? And the answer to that is no, because remember, think of quarters. How many quarters goes into a dollar? 4. So 4 quarters go into a dollar, and how many quarters go into 25 cents? Once. So that's how you'd write 25% as a fraction. What if I gave you something that was, I'll give you 2 examples. 40% and one that's a little bit bigger than that. 125%. We'll do the 40% first. Same idea. It's going to be 40 times 1 over 100, and that's going to be 40 over 100. Now, here's a very, very, very useful tip in this video, so please, if you remember anything, this is very important. Whenever you're dividing numbers with ending with zeros, you're allowed to cancel them, or simply, what you're doing, you're dividing by 10. That's what it means when you get rid of this 0 here and that 0 there. I'm left with 4 over 10. Am I finished? The answer is no, I'm not, because I'm left with 4 over 10. I reduce the top number by 2, and I reduce the second number I reduce 10 by 2. Why? Because they are both even numbers, and the smallest even number is 2. So I'm left with 2 over 5 as my final answer for that case. Same goes for this case. I write 125 times 1 over 100. 125 over 100. So what does that mean? That basically means here that I multiply 125 over 100. That means I get to reduce because, not by 10, because 0 and 10, 0 and 5 don't cancel out, but 5 can go into a number that ends with the 0 and a number that ends with a 5 as well. So 5, or in this case, let's think a little bit bigger than 5. I mean, you could use 5. Let's use 5 for now. 5 goes into, let's see, I know 5 goes into 120 times, and I know 5 goes into 125. I believe, let's see, it's to 25 times. And then if I do it again by 5, I'm left with, if I divide by 5 into both these two numbers, I'm left with 5 over 4 as my final answer. So you see how when you're reducing these fractions, you have to, again, know the conversion symbol for each one. Whichever you're trying to convert from percent to fraction, you need to know which one you're using, which is 1 over 100. And then you work each case by changing the percent symbol into 1 over 100. Let's do this one. Let's definitely do this one, and I'll give you your homework. What if I gave you 2.3 as a percent, and I want you to turn that into a fraction? It's like, what? What are you doing, right? So you do the same idea. You take 2.3 times 1 over 100, and I'm left with 2.3 over 100. And you're sitting there like, professors, this doesn't make any sense. What am I doing here? Well, 2.3 as a fraction, what would that be essentially? That would be, you'd basically divide 100 into, you divide 100 into this. So what is that going to be? This would be basically 2.3, whoops, sorry about that. 2.3, what happened here? 2.3, I don't know what just happened. Let's go back up, sorry. 2.3, and I'm going to move the decimal point over 1, 2. Now, but you're probably wondering, why am I doing that? Why am I changing this from a fraction to a percent? Wouldn't my answer just be 2.3 over 100? And my answer to that is no, because we need to get a better idea of where the place value is. If you understand what I'm talking about. For example, we know this is a whole number. Then we know this is tens. You see where I'm going now with this. Hundreds. And then finally, thousands. Knowing that this is thousands, I can now finally write my answer as, let's see. This would be 2, let's see. This would be 223 over 1,000, and that would be your answer, because when you divide this, you'd get these two are equivalent. These two are the same. So think of it that way. Think of it as 20. Remember, in words, it would be 23 thousandths. So therefore, you'd write that whole number, but then you'd write the place value. So if it was a very, 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 very tiny number, let's say like 10,000. Let's say I write 5 10,000ths. It would have been a very, very tiny number. It would have been 5 over 10,000. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm just saying, like, if I said 0.005 like this, and I asked you to write this as a fraction, well, we looked at, well, did we go? Well, let me write this as a percent, sorry. Percent first, then you do the whole same thing. It would be 5 times 1 over 100. Sorry, 0.005 times 100. I'm moving too fast, sorry. This would become 0.005 over 100. And then you add the zeros there, 0.00005. So again, we got 10, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 10,000,000s. No, not 10,000,000, sorry. 500,000. So this would be 5 over, so if this is, let's see, let's review again. 10, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So that's what will be your answer for that case. Now for homework. Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there. Sorry about that. For homework, I'll just give you a nice, easy one. Nothing too crazy, sorry. Write 50% as a fraction. Something easy. I cannot write today. Okay. So, sorry for making the video so long, but it's important to know how to convert percent to a fraction. So that's the lesson for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Mash that bell button for more content, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. This has been Absolute 5. I'm Roger Palomino. Math is infinite because there are infinitely many possibilities. And don't forget, don't hate, calculate. Remember that. Don't hate, calculate, man. Just calculate all day, every day.